Hello, hi. I hope you all are doing well. In this video, we are going to talk about questions which are not really important. I have shared a list of questions which you may ignore in the real exam. But what is the criteria and how we are going to ignore those questions or how we are going to skip those questions, in other words? So, there's a list of questions I have shared. Let me check. Yes, this one. So I have shared this document with you all, and here you can see questions with respect to their importance. So we are going from higher to lower priority questions. We have covered almost this point. Till this point, which is fill in the blank. Now other question, which is answer short question, highlight correct summary, multiple choice, multiple of reading and listening, single choice reading and listening, and select missing words are not really important. So how we are going to do those questions? The first thing is that your read aloud question is there. You will do this question, and after that you will go to your repeat sentences. You will just keep doing repeat sentences. As soon you are done, you will go to next question. Then you have describe image, so you are going to have 5 to 6 describe images, and then you will do describe images. Then you have return lecture. Now we have one question which is answer short question, which is in between, and it is just there to, I would say, to waste your time. So you don't need to worry about it. In answer short question, they are going to ask you very easy question. Answer short questions are something related to general knowledge, and you don't need to bother much. If you know the answer, you will answer it. If you don't know the answer, you will repeat anything from the question, and after that you have to do your summarized group discussion and respond to situation, and in this way your speaking section will be done. If you talk about answer short question, the questions are very easy, and mostly they will ask you 5 to 6 answer short questions in the real exam, and those are more related to general topics, like something you can easily answer. Maybe they are saying what is the second month of the year. Maybe they are saying that how many days are there in a week. So they are asking you something very generic in nature, something you all can relate to. Let me give you some of the examples from this question.
If a person is not telling the truth, then what is he or she telling?
Lie. So the answer is very simple. Okay, so in this question, what you do, you answer the question, and the question is very generic in nature. After that, you have summarized written text. You will get two summarized written text. You will get separate time for both. Then you have essay writing. This is how you are done with your essay overall reading writing module. Then you have very important module, and here the time management is the most important factor. Here you have fill in the blank drop down, and then you have fill in the blank, drag and drop, and then reorder. These are three questions you have in your reading module if you are aiming for 8. Otherwise you have two question important if you are aiming for 6 or 7, which is fill in the blank, drop down, and drag and drop. Now two questions which are like one question which is in between, which is multiple choice multiple. This is not important, and this is there just to waste your time, because if you give time to this question, ultimately whenever you reach your this question drag and drop, you miss one or two questions. So what you will do, you will simply skip this question. I'm telling you, simply you're going to skip this. What you will do, you will come to this question, you'll mark B or C or any other option, and you go next. Since this question is negative marking as well, although not very important, but negative marking as well, so we preferably go with one option so that you don't have negative marking. So you quickly go like this, the way I'm going right now. So you don't give much time to this question. However, the other question, which is multiple choice singular, which is not negative marking question, whenever you reach this question, most of the time your time is already up. But in case if you are left with maybe 1 minute or more, so you will give time to this question. You will try to quickly read the statement. What is the author's main purpose to write this passage? Now you'll go back to the or refer back to your passage and see what is the main purpose, that why writer have written this passage. You will quickly try to find it all the time you have left for this module, so you'll give time to this question. Let's suppose if I say that the author's main purpose is to call the action for global things, or maybe to state the fact, whatever it is, but you can go with it. We can read quickly. Understanding how the planet is changing and how rapidly the change occurs is crucial for humanity to prepare and to adapt for warmer world. Science leaves no room for doubt, and climate change is an essential trend of our time. Okay, so maybe he's asking people to take action regarding this. So this is one possibility. So you will get again, you will see the number of questions here. I have already provided scoring guide. You will come back here and you not this one. I have given you another one which is score guide by Language Pills Academy. You will go to that document and we'll see how many questions you are getting. Most of these questions you are getting one or two questions, not more than that. After that, you go to your listening part where you have 10 minutes for summarized spoken. But again, you have one question which is not really high scoring. It is again there to waste your time, because if you give time to your unimportant question, ultimately, whenever you read your write from dictation, you have less to no time. So that's why it's very important that you give time to this question. You don't give time to this question, or go with time management. Now, one aspect which is very important to be noted here is that when you go to multiple choice
All
MCQs,
mammals.
multiple or singular in your reading part, you can skip by choosing your option, but in your listening part you cannot skip the audio. You have to listen to the audio in any case, then you can skip. So meanwhile, when you are listening, let's suppose here you are listening for 48 seconds, why not to find the right answer? So although this question is not important, but since they give you time and you can utilize your time when the speaker is speaking, so you can quickly read and try to find the option. Again, choose only one option, because this question is again negative marking. So multiple choice, multiple in both are negative marking question. So let me give
Have
to the
hair,
audio.
commonly called fur when it's on your cat or a koala. And the thickness of individual hairs varies from species to species. For example, elephant hairs are more than 4 times thicker than a strand from an adult human. Normally, when the animal is larger, the hair tends to be thicker. University of California, San Diego, materials scientist Wen Yang. She's interested in how biological structures like hair hold up under stress. That interest comes from a desire to design better synthetic materials. Yang's team tested the tensile strength of hair from 8 different mammal species, including humans. They subjected those hairs to increasing levels of tension until the fibers broke. The researchers assumed that thick hair, from giraffes, elephants and boars, for example, would be more robust. But they were wrong.
Okay. Overall, in this passage, they talked about different animals, and then they talked about thickness of their hair and how thickness of hair are related to the different animals and the size of the animal. So this one seems okay. So I'm gonna choose it. But as soon as the audio is done, I'm not gonna waste because time, because I need to go to my other question. So this is how you do. Again, you will get 2 to 3 questions. You can see number of question on your scoring guide. Then you have fill in the blank listening. You have to do. You have to proofread. You have to check. We have already covered this question. Then you have highlight correct summary. Now, preferably this question is little bit important, not much, but let me tell you how you do this. Okay, since this question is some
Before the Affordable Care Act came along,
highlight correct summary, so we know summary is a statement which is more general in nature, summary is the statement which is broader in nature, summary is the statement which is not very specific, rather it's more general in nature. So one hint to choose the right statement in your summarize group summarize highlight some group summary, correct summary, is that you go for the generic statement. The more generic the statement is, the more probability that it's going to be the right option.
80% of Americans had quality health insurance, like my wife and I, through their employer or through government programs like Medicare and Medicaid. For some, this insurance was far from ideal, as it featured high costs and a limited choice of providers. But overall, this was substantive coverage, which enrollees were by and large satisfied. On the other hand, the other 20% of Americans were either uninsured or faced the prospect of buying insurance in the unstable and discriminatory non-group insurance market. This is a market where it was totally legal for insurers to discriminate against the sick for any reason. Insurers could deny the sick coverage, they could charge them much more than the healthy for insurance, or they could exclude their pre-existing illnesses from coverage. As a result, if you were healthy, you could get health insurance. This defeats the whole notion of health insurance. Health insurance is supposed to protect you against financial risk, not protect your insurance company against the sick. And as a result, people in this market were just one bad gene or one bad traffic accident away from bankruptcy.
Okay, if you talk about this, they talked about 20% of America are uninsured or face the prospect of buying insurance. They also talked about the insurance market is the one which is totally legal for insurer to discriminate against the sick for any reasons. Although they mentioned this, but the hint for this question is the generic statement. If you talk about all, this is more specific in nature by saying insurance market only with respect to, the with respect to the health. And here they're talking about the previous scenario. Here they're talking about the specific number, the specific instances out of it. This statement is more generic in nature, which overall talked about that health insurance in America is not fair for everyone. And then this thing that insurance market is the place where you can go for insurers to discriminate against this. Then 20% are insured or uninsured or insured, something like that. So this is more general in nature, and the other one are just type and further explanation and examples are of this. So whenever you have to choose, you will go with the most generic one. Most generic mean most general one, the most broader one. Okay. Now after doing this question, what you will do, you have another question which is multiple choice multiple. Again, the problem is you cannot skip. So while listening to the audio, you will try to figure out the right option. This question is not negative marking.
There are many reasons why Japanese people live longer than the rest of us. One reason might be soybean products like tofu, natto, and miso. Scientists from the National Institute of Health and Nutrition in Tokyo conducted a study into the health benefits of soybeans and their products. They found that people who regularly ate tofu, natto, and miso were 10% less likely to die from common killers than people who ate no soybean products. Researchers said eating soybean-based food lowered the risk of death from heart attacks, stroke, and other cardiovascular problems. They said a higher intake of fermented soy products was associated with a lower risk of mortality.
Okay, so here they were talking about the product and soy products, and here they were talking about the 10%. So in this question, if you don't know the answer, it's fine. If you know the answer, it's fine. But make sure that whenever the audio is done, you're not gonna wait. Now the next question is select missing word. Again, not important. Select missing word is that where there is a beep sound at the end, and considering the whole audio, you have to predict that what is the most suitable option at that place. Now we're going for the question. Any question here?
They see triggers all over the world. What are triggers? Triggers are cases where you take a part of your nervous system and you say, if someone says that word, they can control my nervous system and make me afraid and anxious. That's a terrible idea. We should not be teaching our kids to see the world as being full of triggers. We should teach them to live in a world that is physically quite safe, but full of offensive statements and ideas, especially on the internet. A sad commentary on the state of the business world now is that Google is being sued from both sides, from women who say that they're victims of a hostile climate, and from conservatives and white men who say that conservatives and white men are discriminated against. So in our current era, everybody feels they're
like they are a victim, because everyone is feeling the same way. So they are believing that we are victims, that we are facing problem and suffering because of that. After that, you have a highlight incorrect word, which is important question, and we have already discussed in classes. And then we have write from dictation. If you manage well in these questions which are unimportant, like multiple choice multiple choice singular, select missing word, highlight correct summary, if you manage time well and don't waste your time and only take the audio time and quickly go next, then you'll be able to get time for your highlight incorrect and write from dictation. So this is how you're going to complete your task. The first important task is read aloud. As soon as you are done, you will go next. Repeat sentences. As soon as you're done, you go next. Describe image. You're not again gonna take 40 seconds. You will take 30-35 seconds. Retell 30-35 seconds. Answer short question quickly. You have to complete. Summarize group discussion 1 minute and 30 seconds maximum. Respond to situation again 25, 30, 35 maximum. So you go next. This is how you do your speaking part. Then you have writing. Summarize written 10 minutes. Essay writing 20 minutes. Reading is all about time management, and then listening part is all about time management. If you talk about reading, drop down. You're going to give 2.5 to 3 minutes to each blank. Reorder is 1.5 minute maximum to each reorder, and fill in the blank, drag and drop all the leftover time, but most probably you will get 2.5 to 3 minutes to each drag and drop. Summarize spoken again, fixed 10 minutes. Fill in the blank listening as soon as you're done, and as soon as you're done with the proofreading, you go next. Highlight incorrect as soon as you're done. Write from dictation all remaining time, and this is how you complete your essay, overall your PTE exam.